Well, we have sun today. The past week has seemed to be rain every other day, and then the following day we get sun and wind, and it dries out enough, and then we get a little bit of rain. So we are out here checking the field to see if we can go plant. How's the soil?
Wet.
Wet.
No, low spot. That was fine.
Do you think we're gonna be able to plant?
I don't know.
We're in a little bit of a low spot here. It's a little wet. So we're gonna move over to the hill and see if it's a little more dry there. And if it is, then we will bring out the fitting tool and get it smooth and ready to plant. Okay, we came back up on the hill, and what's the verdict?
Still too wet.
How
This is a heavier dirt field that we have. And it's definitely not gonna go.
It's not good because we're expecting rain maybe the next 2 days, so might be a little bit before we get out here. It'd be really nice to get it planted. So we came to the next field. This field is dry enough, so we are able to go, and we have the disc out here disking. It has rollers on it to kind of firm up the ground. It is kind of a rockier field, so hopefully the rollers will pack it in. We are not going to fit this one, just going to disc it. So we're planting seed corn, and almost every field has a different variety. So we had to clean out the planter at the previous field, come to this field, and put in the new variety. This is 4-1, so we had to tie up a couple of the rows so that way they aren't planting, and we plant on the correct pattern. What are you checking?
Seed depth. It's up right here. There you go. On one. Making sure that it's planting correctly. Correct depth.
So we just started this field planting the male row corn. So we are just getting the male row planter set up, everything hooked up in the monitor. This was the first pass. So we need to make sure that the depth and spacing is the way that we have it set up, so that way it plants correctly. All right, we found the seed here, and it's about 2 inches deep, which is a little too deep for our liking. So we are gonna have to shallow that row up a little bit, jumping over to the other row to see if it's just as deep, to see what changes we need to make to the planter. We found it here, and still looks like it might be too deep. So
I think this one's good.
you think that one's good?
I mean, from just that one seed. So at this, as I'm digging further away out here, here's a seed. That's very far. they're spaced. Right now we're doing male ahead and we're only doing 60% of the male. And when I come back with the big female planter, we will put the other 40% of male in with the female. We have to have it delayed to spread out the pollinating time for male, trying to make that pollen time a longer gap to make sure all the female gets pollinated well.
Shallowing up just that one row unit, just a tad, so that way it will plant correctly. Did it shallow it up enough?
Yeah, I think it's good.
So we now have the male row planting. It's all set up in the monitor correctly, so he can keep going with that. And the disc is still going, so that way we can get all of the male planted in here today.